In my ongoing quest for something foolish to talk about, there is never a scarcity when it comes to the internet. And CBR.com proves yet again that there will always be something foolish to talk about. In their little article a few hours ago, the WGA strike is a fight against everything fandoms claim to hate. Well, that's interesting. Let's see what they think fandoms hate. Some vocal fandoms aren't supporting the writer's strike because maybe, you could put out some good writing and then maybe fans would back you. I don't know. Which is baffling because the writers are fighting against everything fans claim to hate. The writers are the reason why fans are turning away from the things that they love. In the public relations field, the Writers Guild of America should have an easy edge over the Association of Motion Pictures and Television Producers. The 2023 WGA strike is about wages for writers because they're not getting paid enough, apparently. I find that hard to believe. But it's also about fixing everything contentious fans claim to hate, like bad writing. That's what fans hate. They hate nonsensical, ideological, bad writing. But it's also okay. Faced with the choice between David Zaslav and the DC Universe, what fan would side with the guy who paid himself nearly 3 times the budget of the canceled Batgirl? Nobody cares about how much these guys are getting paid. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with your piss-poor, garbage-tier writing that we're getting on CW, in Star Wars, in DC, and Marvel. That's nothing but ideologically filled shit. Unfortunately, thanks to how profitable, outrageous... Oh, go fuck yourself, you clickbait. Anyway, I'm going to calm down. Unfortunately, thanks to how profitable outrage is on YouTube and social media, give us something good to talk about and it won't be filled with outrage. Some are doing just that because everything from Star Wars to genre TV staples like The Flash on the CW, because CW has had one single decently written superhero show, Superman and Lois. I heard good things about that. Everything else was just no. And some of the clips that I've seen, and I'm watching Gotham Knights. If Gotham Knights is any indication of what the CW writing has been, holy shit, I can totally understand why so many fans have been absolutely outraged and have nothing good to say about it. If that's what you think these writers should be getting paid for, CBR, my God, you have another thing coming. Where the hell was I? Prompt familiar cries from these disaffected viewers as bad writing. Oh my goodness. Thus, with writers asking for fair pay, better job security, and other fundamental workers' rights, the quote, bad writing chorus is on the side of the studios. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No. Not one time, for me personally. I've never said I'm on the side of the studios. I hope they all burn down to the ground financially in Minecraft. I've never heard any of the other channels I follow praise any single solitary studio, especially not CW, not Disney, not Warner Brothers either. Though these folks also frequently blame studios or individual producers. Wait a minute, you're contradicting yourself in 2 sentences. You contradict yourself. Where is this going, CBR? My goodness, though these folks also frequently blame studios or individual producers, executives like Kathleen Kennedy. Because, yeah, putting aside whether the writing is bad, because it is, or rather some folks just don't like it, no, it's bad writing, fandoms should support the WGA strike. No, we shouldn't. We think you're overpaid too. Especially for the writing quality that you've been putting out over the past, 3, 4, 5 years. So no, you do not deserve to get paid more than what you're making now until you start putting out better quality product. Meritocracy should be a thing. Bring it back in entertainment. Labor concerns aside, the writers are fighting to correct everything the most upset groups of fans dislike about a given franchise. Like what? The bad writing? You can't fix that with better pay. Fix it with better writing. This is a broken record because everything in this article so far has been bullshit. Also, putting aside the profit motive of perpetual outrage fan, it's all a grift, folks. It's all a grift. Everything I've ever been talked about, everything I've ever talked about, it's just a grift. I'm trying to make money. My channel doesn't even have 500 subscribers right now, but I'm just trying to make money. It's all about the grift, the profit. That's it. I'm not talking about anything I'm actually passionate about. God for fucking bid. The writers are fighting to correct everything the most upset groups of fans dislike about a given franchise. Correct the writing. Also, putting aside the profit motive for perpetual fan outrage, it's about ensuring every character in every universe gets the story it deserves. Something that the current writers have been failing at left, right, and center over and over again. WGA strike is a counter-offensive against cynical franchise exploitation? Oh, let's see where this goes. From the outside, Warner Brothers Discovery idea to... Oh, wait, is this a separate article? Did we go on to something else? Counter-offensive. Let's go ahead and see what this one has to say, because I guess that's the end of it. Related. My goodness. How do you separate your articles, CBR? Just like you're writing. It's terrible. What do we got here? From the outside, Warner Brothers Discovery idea to reboot the Harry Potter as a TV series seems like a cash grab, or it could seem like a better retelling. No, it's probably a cash grab. It's absolutely a cash grab, but it could be better considering J.K. Rowling, she who shall not be named, is more involved. They're going to take their time to flesh out the stories from the books. The old regimes made all the money from the film, and WBD, I had to say that slowly because I'd have screwed that up, good Lord, needs revenue. Yep, and they want to go to the franchise that can make them money. They saw everything, all the profit, the massive sales that Hogwarts Legacy did. So they said, hey, let's give this a shot. Do you think the creator would be interested? Rowling said, sure. So, hey, oh, God, oh, God, I just read ahead. Oh, you just can't help yourself. The mainstream media, these lame-ass websites, just cannot seem to help themselves. Only the Harry Potter films are the least problematic part of the Wizarding world when considering its transphobic creator, J.K. Rowling. Oh, my God. All this woman wants is women's rights, biological women's rights. Therefore, she's a transphobe. She's a TERF. And every single article, at least 90% of them, just cannot help themselves. Oh God. In many cases, studios know the franchise name will bring in the viewers. Correct. At least the first episode. And it almost doesn't matter what the story is. Good. Yes. For a website that talks about what the fans claim to hate, in an article about what fans claim to hate, you get it wrong over and over again. We're not against the producers, the studios as a whole. We're against the bad writing. So I'm sorry, but it does matter what the story is. Stick to the story. Follow the source material in the books, and you will make money. Goodness gracious. Producers will bring in a writer or a team of writers, give them their demands, and let the writers develop the story. You don't have to develop the story. It's right there. Book 1, Book 2, Book 3, Year 1 through 7. They're right there. The stories are there for the Harry Potter series. However, as the show is still in production during the WGA strike, these studios aren't concerned about keeping writers involved. The writers are meant to do a couple of script drafts, then turn them in and be cut loose. Good, they deserve it. Shows like The Flash, which was still filming when its final season debuted, also suffer from the needs of the business. Instead of letting the writers break the season and write the script before production begins, the show goes into production. Shows like Star Trek Voyager, haven't heard anything good about that, and Enterprise, for example, would only have a few weeks lead time between episodes production and airing. As it stands now, sometimes the only WGA members on the staff is the showrunner and executive producer. They have to try to write scenes or whole episodes while still working on pre and post production. Employing more writers or give them more time will only ensure fandoms get the level of quality. No. See, this is provenly false, because if the last few years has been any indication that more writers, maybe more time would help, but when you have the quality of writing, more is not going to help. You have too many people, as the saying goes, too many chefs in the kitchen. That's not going to make the story better. There's a complete and total lack of communication. It was evident with WandaVision, going from WandaVision into Multiverse of Madness. When they were writing Multiverse of Madness, they didn't know how WandaVision was going to end. The showrunner didn't know what was going to happen to Wanda's character. That's not good. If you don't know what's going on, how can you actually show where the character's going to go? And when you have too many people writing and not communicating with each other, scenes, multiple scenes in the same episode or in multiple shows, they're not going to mesh up as far as characters' actions and scenery. Do we want to go on to the next one? WGA could help make even cash grab shows. Oh, this is all one article. Striking writers want to work. Yeah, well, fans want better written shows. How about that? Can we get that? They just can't afford to do it the way the things they are. I watched a little snippet, a couple of people talking about how much the average writer was making in Hollywood. And it was more than I make in 2 months. They were making that in 1 week. Complaints about where they're living in Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, or wherever. These are high cost of living areas. And if $7,000 a week or $3,000 a week is not enough for you to get by, that's not a good enough living wage, you may want to go write somewhere else. I don't understand this. Maybe I never will. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments, please, by all means. If the AMPTP agrees to their proposals, which they won't, I hope they won't. Please let the writer strike go on for years. The Iron Age will take up the place. Independent creators on YouTube and social media all over the place will pick up the slack and probably write better than what Hollywood's putting out. Oh, here we go again. Whether bad writing is ever the problem, it is, for some disgruntled fandoms or not, the executives and studios are not the groups who want to fix it. Well, yes, of course they want to fix it. Because if they don't fix it, they're not going to make money. People are going to stop watching it. Disney last quarter lost 4 million subscribers. The quarter before, they lost 2 million subscribers. That money adds up. The last few movies that Disney has put out, Lightyear lost money. Strange World, I believe it was called, lost money. I think totally lost. Those 2 movies total lost Disney over $300 million. Sure, the parks opening up, they're not stressing about this. But a loss is a loss when it gets into hundreds of millions of dollars. After a while, it will start to add up. They'd let AI cobble together nonsense, which what it seems like everything written nowadays is being done by. They'd let AI cobble together nonsense and serve it up to fans because for them the bottom line is profit and shareholders' dividends. Fans are going to notice you. They're going to notice the bad writing. They're already noticing the bad writing. The only group that truly cares about telling good stories are the striking writers. That's a load. Again, let me say this again because I probably haven't said it enough in this one single little video. If the writers cared about good stories, they would be writing good stories. Oh, and the pictures they show is from Rings of Power. I have not heard one single good thing about Amazon Prime's Rings of Power. use that as an example to try and as an example of good writing. Oh Lord. Let's finish this up. One of the most contentious proposals from the WGA is that shows should be required to hire a set number of writers. Bullshit. They should not be required to hire a set number of writers. More writers does not mean a better show. Even if the showrunner wants to write all the scripts themselves, this is not a new phenomenon, actually. The West Wing executive producer Aaron Sorkin wrote most of the scripts himself. I thought they were going to go on some. I thought they were going to talk about something relating to having more than like having a set number of writers in the room. Okay. Aaron Sorkin wrote most of the scripts himself instead of allowing other writers in the room to tackle them. I believe The West Wing was a beloved series. One or very few writers working on a show, and the show is a massive success. Who would have thunk it? I need to stop doing the voices. Yet, in most cases, an executive producer would most likely take advantage of the writers they were required to hire. So then why would you why would you require someone to hire writers if you're just worried about them being taken advantage of? It would help avoid burnout, repetition, and make for better stories. No, that is provenly false. Small group of writers. I don't know how many they expect, 10, 15, 20. 3 to 5 from with all different ideas, bouncing thoughts off of each other, that aren't afraid to tell someone their idea is stupid. That's the important part. You don't need a bunch of yes men. Let's go. Another reason for that's a hiccup. Sorry. Another reason some stories may feel rushed or haphazard is that writers simply don't have the time to do their job. Okay. Writer might work a few weeks on a 6-episode series, yet instead of focusing fully on the work, they're being asked to do unpaid rewrites from the last job or look for the next gig so they can continue to pay bills. Well, maybe you're just living in the wrong place. Even worse, some TV writers have to take other non-writing jobs to make ends meet. I don't know. Where's your source? CBR, where's your source? I keep looking over at my other monitor like I'm on camera or something. It's not just unsustainable for them, but it will result in displeased fans and broken franchises. Oh, like we don't have that already. My goodness. While some amateur critics may make their names decrying the bad writing in their favorite franchise, they should still support the WGA strike. Nope. I do support the strike. That's true. I 100% support the strike. Keep on striking. Strike for a year. Let's see what the independent creator can produce. Because if their complaints are made in good faith, then giving writers more time, more help, and more pay can correct that. I think they're overpaid. The studio muckety-mucks may claim to care about storytelling, but CEOs, COOs, and others are paid to care about profits. Yeah, what's wrong with that? And the amount of crap that the current writers have been pushing out is not making them profits. So, hire better writers. The current group is shit. If Zaslav and WBD could have House of the Dragon Season 2 right now, they'd take it. Pretty sure it's already been written. It's just in production right now. You don't need writers for that. Oopsie. Yet, even they realize that to create quality programming, 2 things are required. The first is time. They'll take about as much time as they did on Season 1, and if that's any indication, Season 2 will be a banger. But the second and most important are professional storytellers, which Hollywood has proven they don't have, who can shape even a cynical cash grab into a story worth telling. So, CGI aside, are you trying to say that Disney's She-Hulk was a story worth telling? Or that Velma was a story worth telling? My goodness. Andor was a decent story. What else have I been watching? What other garbage? Gotham Knights. That was not a story worth telling. These are trash shows from trash studios and trash writers. If you think the fans are out here trying to defend a single studio making anything, you're not paying attention. But let me know what you think. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making this, making it. Good night, everybody. Thank you.